Section 28 of Christmas and Christmas Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jamie Church. Christmas and Christmas Lore by Thomas G. Crippen. Hodening, Schimmel, etc. In some parts of Kent, and round about Richmond in Yorkshire, there was a custom, the purely heathen origin of which is obvious. The head of a horse, either a skull or a wooden effigy, was fixed to a pole, and its jaws snapped by means of a string. The party carried handbells and sang songs, for which they expected meat and drink or money. In Kent, the head was made of wood, and its mouth was open for contributions. The ditty was, "3 jolly hodening boys lately come from town, for apples or for money, we searched the country round." Some of the Kentish wagoners used to keep the head in their stables through the year for luck. A similar practice existed in some parts of Wales. The skull was dressed with ribbons and carried by a man under a white sheet. The jaws were made to bite anyone it could lay hold of, who was only released on payment of a forfeit. This was called mariloid. E.J. Newell, in his History of the Diocese of Llandaff, says that the custom survived at Cardiff as late as 1886, if not later. It is hard to conceive that hodening, or mariloid, could ever have any relation to Christmas. They seem to be either an unintelligent survival or a designed caricature of some custom of the pre-Christian Yule. The word hodening is evidently reminiscent of Odin, who, whatever else he may have been, was certainly a sky god. He was represented as a stately man with one eye, there being only one sun in the firmament. He was wrapped in a blue mantle, spangled with stars, and rode on a white horse that was swifter than the wind. The horse's head can scarcely be anything else than a relic of Odin's horse Sleipnir. The German counterpart of this toy is called the Schimmel, the gray or fusty one. The horse's head is fixed to a pole, and this, sometimes, to a man who goes on all fours, covered with a white cloth. Elsewhere, the horse is formed by 3 or 4 lads, one of whom is the rider. He is veiled, and sometimes carries on his head a pot with glowing coals, which shine through the openings that represent eyes and mouth. The Schimmelreiter is sometimes accompanied by a bear, a boy dressed in straw, who plays the part of a bear chained to a pole. In other parts of Germany, the head is that of a buck or goat, usually made of wood, with a jaw that clatters. It butts children who cannot say their prayers. This is the klapperbock, or habergeis. In Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, the julebuk, with a buck's head and dressed in a hide, butted the children whom he met in his peregrinations. Sometimes the name was applied to a straw puppet. There was a story of a girl who danced with a straw julebuk, and found that her partner was none other than Satan himself. Another julebuk was carried off by the evil one whom he had mimicked. A grim story was told in one of the Yorkshire dales, where Scandinavian customs and traditions long survived, of a man who, early in the 19th century, went about in a black ox hide with the horns above his head. He was stabbed to death by the village idiot, who gleefully boasted that he had killed the devil. End of section 28. Recording by Jamie Church.